Hey there, Fletcher from All Things Overlanding here, and today I'm going to be talking about this new heated blanket that I got from BougeRV. These guys make a ton of awesome solar panels. They make a ton of different types of gear, lights, things like that. I've had a good amount of their gear before and always really liked it. So again, I'm going to walk you through all the features of this thing. If you are looking for a really nice, big, good size heated blanket for under $100 with a ton of nice features, including app control, I'm going to tell you all about this thing in this video, which will then hopefully help you decide if this one's right for you. So if you want to learn more about the BougeRV 12-volt heated blanket, stay tuned.
Understand where it came from, but you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you gave to me. Loosening my grip.
All right, guys, so as I mentioned in the intro today, I'm talking about this BougeRV 12-volt heated blanket. I'm going to start by kind of walking you through all the features. I'm going to give you the dimensions on it. I'm going to show you some of the cool things that I like about the way they designed this thing, because I've had 2 or 3 heated blankets before. I've had the really cheapy, like $30, $40 ones that you buy off Amazon, and there were a lot of downsides to that. They're really small in size. Their cord's really short. They're not really waterproof. They're not intended for outdoor use. And then I've had, the nicer ones sort of like this before, but they didn't quite have the features that this has. And then again, now that I have this one, this is the best one that I've had anyways. But I'm going to show you all those features and kind of why I say that. I'm not just going to say it's the best and everyone should buy it. I'm going to say, hey, here are the features. Here are some of the things that I like about it. And then that way, again, you can make a decision on whether it's right for you. So let's start by breaking this thing down a little bit. All right, so one thing just to point out from the get-go is I really like that there's this pocket right here, because this pocket allows you to store all the electrical cord for it. The cord for it is probably about 6 feet long. It's actually quite long. You've got a fully integrated controller here, which is unpluggable too. And on this controller, you've got multiple settings. So you can set this thing up to 5 different settings for heat. And then you can also set a timer up to 10 hours. You've got simple on off, and then you've got your timer button, which switches these lights and allows you to change the settings on it to whatever you want. But the fact that the end of the cord is unpluggable makes it easier to break this thing down. And then another nice thing is you see this twist on, this like screw on connector. So this sort of screw on connector allows you, it makes sure that it's not going to pull out. So, a lot of these I've seen, these things will just pull out all the time. Some of the old ones that I've had, it's kind of almost like a universal plug that just sort of butts together. This thing screws on, so it's not going to pull out. And because of that style of connection, it also ensures waterproofness. So because you can, and I'll get to this in a second, wear this as a poncho or wear this around camp, you don't want this thing pulling out, and you want it to be at least somewhat waterproof in case it starts raining or you get condensation on it or something like that. So that's a really nice, thoughtful thing. Plus, when you want to wash this, if you want to wash this, which is machine washable, you can just unscrew this thing, pull all the cord off of it, pull this, the fancy controller off of it, because obviously you don't want to wash that, and then tuck this in the pocket, and then you can wash the blanket. So it just makes everything, it's a really smart design. The way that they did it is really smart, makes it really easy to sort of tear it all down, keep it separate, wash it, maintain the blanket, all that good stuff. So now that we've kind of talked about the cord and the built-in hand control, another cool thing about this blanket is that they have an app for it. So you can actually control this from your smartphone, which is really cool. I'm going to show that to you here in a little bit, but I do want to break that down. I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to kind of show you everything. I'm going to show you how the app works, just so you have that info. But if you want to be really super basic, you don't want to mess with an app, you got a controller built in. Otherwise, you can use the app if you want to do that. So let's move on to size and sort of makeup. So it's got this sort of waterproof lining on it, which I like, because again, a lot of them that I've had have been flannel, and that just tends to absorb all the water. So the water does bead off of this, and it's pretty good at, again, if you're sitting around camp and it starts to rain or it's cold out and you get condensation on the blanket, it's pretty good at just sort of repelling that off. Then on the inside, it's got this sort of faux suede material. And the reason for that is when you put this on you, one thing is when you got this smooth material, it's going to just slide right off you, right? And so you find multiple times in the night with like smooth sleeping bags and things, they just kind of come off. But with this suede stuff, it stays put really nice. So like I actually have used this quite a few nights now over the last month or so. And it's been great because I don't wake up in the middle of the night with this thing pushed off to the side. It's still sticking right there because of this sort of textured suede material on the inside. All right, so now let's talk about size of this blanket. So basically, I'm going to hold this up to myself so that you can see it. Next to a person, I'm about 6'2", but here's how big it is next to me. So like, as you can see, that's basically down to the ground right there, and it's still covering my face. So this thing is 71 inches long, and it's a little over 50 inches across. So this thing is a good sized blanket. You could even use this for 2 people. Now it'd be a little tight for 2, but it's definitely plenty big for 1. And again, as I mentioned, the other blankets that I've had in the past, the cheapies, the $40 ones, $50 ones, even the cheap ones are still 40 or 50 bucks, right? This thing's about 99 bucks. They're just tiny. They go up to your waist. They're maybe like 36 by like 42 or something like that. But this thing is massive. It's huge. And another cool thing, as I mentioned, is you see these really bright yellow sort of tabs on it. It makes it really easy. You can wear this thing like a poncho. So let me show you that. So basically it's going to go the wide way across, right? And then you've got a little toggle here and this little loop, just like that. And then now the blanket is kind of in poncho mode, right? So you can sit around the campfire. You can still access stuff with your hands because of the way that they've got this done, right? It opens up in the front. But then it covers up quite a bit of your back. And the way that they structured this too is your cord is just right here on the front. So it's really easy to access. So you can get this thing, plug it into a power bank, maybe sitting next to you at the campfire. And if it's freezing cold outside and you're a little chilly, you can just put on your heated blanket and wear it like a poncho while you sit around the campfire, which is great. All right, so we've got my Vito Man Flash Speed 1500 power bank here. This thing is a nice budget option with a ton of capacity. So I'm going to hook this up. It is quoted as a 48 watt blanket, and I found that to be true in my use of it. So we'll see here because it's going to show us how much power this thing pulls. We're going to plug it in, and then all you have to do is hold the on off for a few seconds. And then as you can see up here, you've got timer selections 1, 2, and 3. And then for the heat, you've got, as it's showing you here, 4 is those 2 lights, and then 5, and then 5 is the other 2 lights. So you've got up to 5 control settings on this thing, from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. And then for your timer, you've got 1 hour, 2 hour, or 3 hour. Now on the app, you get additional controls. And again, I'm going to show you that here in a second, but I love this because then you're not going to kill your battery, right? Like, as you can see, it is taking 46 watts right now to power itself up. But with the app, you could preheat this thing. So if this thing's plugged in up in your tent, you could hit start from the app and have it already warmed up by the time you get up there, which is pretty cool. You've got this controller that you can totally use, or you can use the app. So now let's jump into the app, and I'm going to kind of show you how this thing works with the blanket in conjunction with the app. So as you can see here in the app, I got rid of it so that I could show you what this looks like the first time you sync. But basically, you just allow it to connect to nearby Bluetooth devices. It almost immediately saw the blanket and allowed me to connect very simply. And then once you're in there, you've got, like I said, those additional features. You can put a timer on it up to 10 hours. You can control the temperature settings from 1 to 5 from a heat standpoint. You can turn the blanket on and off. So again, if you wanted to preheat it and it's up in your rooftop tent and it's plugged in and you're getting ready to leave the campfire and go to sleep, you could kick that thing on and get it preheating. But the fact that you can set a timer for it is great because it helps protect your battery. It's just so useful to have an app like that you can connect via Bluetooth. So even, again, if you're 30 feet away at the campfire, you can still control your blanket, which is cool. It also seems like BougeRV is putting more and more stuff in the app, like their refrigerators and things like that. So again, like I mentioned, I've had a lot of BougeRV stuff. If you are in their ecosystem, you've got several BougeRV products. It's kind of nice to have one app where you can, check your fridge temperature, or turn your fridge down, or turn it into a freezer, turn on your heated blanket, control your lights that you've got from BougeRV. So there's some really cool stuff that could be coming there in the app. All right, you guys. So as you saw, the BougeRV blanket for about $100 has some really nice features: the waterproofness, the sealed up connectors for it, makes washing it really easy, makes it waterproof for if you're wearing it around camp with the toggles. You can wear it like a poncho. With the app control, you can preheat the thing. Like, there's just so many benefits to this thing for $100 that if you're really trying to stay away from like the expense and the complexity of a diesel heater and having to bring diesel with you on every trip, I mean, you could get down into the teens or 20s really easily with this thing and a decent sleeping bag with a lot of comfort and glampiness and bouginess associated with it without having to deal with, fuel for the diesel heater and setting it up and powering it and all that stuff. So while 48 watts is a little bit of power consumption, it definitely is going to require some sort of a decent sized power bank or secondary battery. It's not unreasonable. And the fact that you can set a timer for it means you could heat yourself up for an hour or 2 or 3, fall asleep. And then if you get cold in the middle of the night, kick it back on for another hour and let it turn itself off, right? But it's not going to just run and run and run until your battery goes dead, which is a great feature. So again, that'll do it for the BougeRV blanket. I will have a link to this thing in the description below. I'll put a code down there if I've got one to save you a couple bucks. But definitely check it out. Again, all the BougeRV stuff I've had is really budget priced, but really well made. One thing I didn't mention is it comes with a 2-year warranty, which is really nice. So if you had any failure or anything like that, any problems with it, you can reach out. And BougeRV is one of those companies that actually does have some support and has been around for a while, right? So it's not like a fly-by-night that you've never heard of, which is what I really like about it and why I keep picking up their gear. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully that was helpful for you. If it was, click that like button down below. That helps a lot. It shows people that the video was helpful, and I appreciate it. Also, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure to click that subscribe button. Click the bell to be notified when new videos drop. I do a couple videos every week, generally like general overlanding type thing and a podcast. I do gear videos like this. I do a lot of DIY and budget-minded, like customization and modification for gear and vehicles. And I'm a Nissan person. So if you're into Nissans, tons of Nissan content here for you, and we'd love to have you. Also below this video is a join button, which is just sort of a passive way to support the channel, gets you early access to the videos, and gives you some other perks. But if you want to be more involved with all things overlanding, there's also a link to my Patreon page, which is a ton of fun. There's 20 plus guys in there now. We have a 24/7 Discord, once a month Zoom call, and then we're getting together once or twice a year for a real camping trip to drink a beer and kind of just hang out. So for $5 or more, any of the tiers $5 or above get you access to that stuff. So if that sounds good, check out the Patreon. Then there's also a link to my website down below, which has funny overlanding camping themed patches and stickers. So things like "Don't burn your wiener and it's a hot dog," or "I hate people so I camp." So if that sounds good, all things overlanding merch too. So if you want any of that stuff, definitely check that link out. And then last but not least, there is a link to the Newbie Overlanders Facebook group. Now, this group's totally free to join, has almost 30,000 people in it at the time I'm recording this. And it's great because unlike a lot of the other big groups that kind of allow bullying nonstop, we kick people out that bully. So if you want to come someplace that's more positive, where you can ask questions, or if you're more experienced and you're just tired of the negativity, Newbie Overlanders would be a good place for you, and we'd love to have you. But again, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.